Badlands Conservation Corps is a collaboration with the Badlands Conservation Alliance and Strengthen ND to bring AmeriCorps field crew members out to work on short-term service projects to improve public lands, the Tribal National Park, as well as the grasslands of Western North Dakota. Currently, obviously, there's a threat to our public lands, not just in North Dakota, but around the U.S. Throughout our BCA work over the last 25 years, we've recognized the need to get young people, young adults, more involved on the landscape in Western North Dakota, and this is an outgrowth of that understanding. It helps that I'm a former VISTA volunteer. I served 2 terms with AmeriCorps, a year in Alaska and a year in Vermont. I've had exposure to these types of conservation corps in the past. I think that the Badlands Conservation Alliance is positioned well to start North Dakota's first based conservation corps. Yeah, this initial launch season is a result of actually the last couple of years of work towards the Maah National Monument and our collaboration with partners charged with being the stewards of our public lands, mainly the Forest Service, but also our relationship with the TR National Park, and also our collaboration and partnerships with the Mandan, Hidatsa, Arikara Tribal Nation. We have a tremendous opportunity to replace a bridge along the Maah Trail known as the Bear Creek Bridge. It's been washed out for the past 3 years. So that's a unique opportunity, and the Forest Service is bringing in the mule train. Each region of the Forest Service has a mule train, and this particular mule train has not served in North Dakota for 10 years. So it's a unique opportunity for our young people not to just work on a service project, but to also be exposed to professionals. Many of our students are college age students and pursuing science degrees, and it's important for us to expose them to various career possibilities as well as have glorious experiences in the Badlands. And we're going to camp and work in the national park in the wilderness. By working in the wilderness, we can't use mechanized tools, motorized tools, so we're going to be using hand tools. It seems maybe a little archaic, but at the same point, it's a beautiful landscape. We're excited about that. And the Tribal National Park that's being created is a beautiful location. They have a tremendous opportunity ahead of them to develop a national park that's can educate their people and maybe involve their youth and get them out and involved with the landscape and to have a better understanding of the heritage of their people and why it's important that we care for this landscape, and which is their ancestral land. I'm the vice president of the Maah Trail Association, and for the last couple of years, the Trail Association with the Badlands Conservation Alliance, and we've recently hosted an outing up White Butte. There's been a partnership that's been created between the Maah Trail Association and the High Pointers Club to do some work on the White Butte Trail. And this is a continuation of that, trying to finalize some trail work that's necessary to cut off some cut-throughs, if you will, where the general public is just kind of scrambling and doing some damage to habitat. And we're trying to put in some fencing to just keep folks on the main trail. And also we're going to move a little bit of gravel across and near a couple of short bridge structures that kind of go over water erosion areas to prepare the trail for the long term. One of our volunteer opportunities for the Badlands Conservation Alliance membership is to come out on National Trails Day, which is Saturday, June 7th. There's 7 miles of Maah Trail within the south unit of Theodore Roosevelt National Park. It's all in the wilderness area, and as a result, the National Park Service doesn't have additional staff or a trail crew to just handle trail maintenance. Badlands Conservation Alliance and our Badlands Conservation Corps, along with the Maah Trail Association, is providing a volunteer opportunity to get out on the Maah Trail in the wilderness of the national park, maybe replace some posts that have been used as scratching poles by our friendly bison, maybe do a little brush clearing along the trail to make it more enjoyable for the trail user. We live in a very large state here in North Dakota, and many of our Corps members are attending university in the eastern part of the state. Almost all of them have never been to Western North Dakota. Maybe they've driven through, but they're really going to be exposed to, various careers of interest. I think to them, They're going to have a tremendous amount of outdoor experience, obviously, in some very remote country that very few people ever experience. And they're going to work with professionals that are very fun, but also at the same time are bright and passionate supporters of our public lands. And I think they're going to get a really well-rounded education. They're going to provide a vital service to the state of North Dakota that benefits the economy, which then trickles down to, various aspects of our life. And we're grateful for that. But they also, at the end of their 300 hours of service, they do earn a regular living allowance, but through 300 hours of service, they earn an additional $1,565 education award that they can use to pay off student loan debt or pay for future schooling or educational opportunities. So it's a win-win for everybody. Yeah, the Badlands Conservation Alliance is an incredibly small non-for-profit organization. We are very fortunate that we have mobilized our fantastic AmeriCorps member Spring Bakke as our Badlands Conservation Corps project coordinator. We are leveraging all of our tremendous partners within the Forest Service, the National Park, the Tribal Park, but we are a small organization. We operate off of a shoestring budget. Funding is always an issue. We're trying to be, frugal, while at the same time we're starting something new. And anytime you start something new, there's challenges and hiccups. And we've been living through a drought, and now in North Dakota, we've had a really great stretch of rain, which is great to prevent our wildfires, but it's probably going to make things a bit sloppy and messy, and we're going to have to be flexible, but we're going to be outside, so we're going to have a great time. I think our challenge is if we don't get people out on the landscape in Western North Dakota, it's really easy for politicians to think, oh, it's not being utilized, but it has a it plays a vital role for many of us in the state of North Dakota. We are a tremendous outdoor recreation state. We have a lot of people that hunt, they fish. Our public lands of Western North Dakota is a great place to get out and bird watch, hike, ride horse, camp, mountain bike. And there's a threat right now to selling off our public lands. It's going to start in Nevada and Utah. Let's not think that it couldn't come to North Dakota. And our hope through our small conservation corps and getting people working on the landscape, we're also going to draw attention to the need for, the Forest Service should have a line item, budget item for ongoing trail maintenance within the Maah Trail. There's anywhere from 15 to 30,000 users of that trail. We need support. We need ongoing eyes on our public lands, and we need our politicians and our elected officials to know how vital this is to the state of North Dakota. It's a challenge, but our little nonprofit organization at the Badlands Conservation Alliance is stepping up to fill a void because of recent firings to the Forest Service and the National Park Service. We're doing our part, and we encourage those that are passionate about public lands in North Dakota to do their part. And if they can come out and work with us on National Trails Day, June 7th, that'd be great. Or installing the Bear Creek Bridge on the Maah Trail, June 18th, we'd invite them out to join us. Yeah, I think there's a tremendous opportunity for the BCC because of the geographic size of our state. I think the BCC could grow to not just working in the Badlands, but we could have a crew operating in the Prairie Pothole region of the middle of the state. We could have a third crew that could operate in the Red River Valley. If we can talk our politicians into supporting AmeriCorps, the Badlands Conservation Alliance has developed a great relationship with the Strengthen ND staff and with these AmeriCorps members. I think that is a tremendous opportunity for us. We are going to definitely approach the North Dakota Commerce Department once we get through this project season and talk about the possibilities of how important this youth crew could be to the state of North Dakota. And we're going to highlight it through our pictures and our stories that we're going to tell after this project season. The Badlands Conservation Alliance is a very small non-for-profit organization. We have probably 425 members right now. Federal funding through grants has been frozen. We need private foundation dollars. We need membership dollars to grow. I myself am the executive director, and I have a dream job, but at the same time, I'm using two of my vehicles to transport our Conservation Corps crew. We're donating a tremendous amount of our camping equipment and personal attire. That comes with starting something new, but we need commitments. We need larger corporate sponsors. We need larger donors to come to this work. And we are geographically challenged because of our location in the northern United States. We're not necessarily always thought of as being in the West. We're definitely not in the east, but our public lands serve a vital role. We need membership. We need supporters. And this is a time, if you don't stand up now and advocate for public lands, when are you ever going to stand up? Because once they're gone, we're never getting them back. We're not growing more land. And this is one opportunity that we should really think through the history of North Dakota. We do a tremendous amount of telling this Theodore Roosevelt story and how impactful his life has been by living and working hard, the strenuous life in Western North Dakota. And as we think about the opening of the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library, July 4th of 2026, we should keep in mind that conservation legacy. He's known as the conservation president. I think he'd be appalled to know that we're selling off public lands. Yeah, he was an advocate for being a steward of our resources and developing smartly, but at the same time, taking a chainsaw to budgets and staffing, I don't think would have been his approach. That's my personal opinion, but I think we need to carry forth the conservation stewardship legacy, and our Badlands Conservation Corps is going to do that. We're going to bring out the next generation of land stewards and leaders, and we're proud of that. But we need supporters. Thank you.